Hey guys, it's Jesse from the Beardy and the Baldy channel bringing you my review of Huntsman, Winter's War. Before I do, I'm going to hit three trailers I saw today that piqued my interest. Wanted to mention Magnificent Seven, Chris Pratt, Denzel Washington, huge cast of other characters. Looks like it's going to be a great Western. Um, Anton Fuqua movies are kind of hit and miss for me, but this looks like it might be another hit. Uh, the trailer itself didn't do too much for me. These kind of more modern classic rock songs or whatever getting slapped on these trailers, especially this one and the last two Suicide Squad trailers, just the music's killing me. Um, it definitely is jarring for this is supposed to be a Western, and it's a little too strong. But the movie itself looks good. Can't wait to see it. Jason Bourne, next entry in the Bourne franchise. I mean, Matt Damon's back. You got Tommy Lee Jones and the new seemingly kind of it girl for sci-fi action movies, Alicia Vikander. Vikander. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. From Ex Machina and Man from Uncle. Great performances in both those movies. So seeing her come onto the Bourne team is, you know, that it seems like a good another good addition to the cast. Julia Stiles is coming back, and of course Matt Damon. So, um, like the Mission Impossible movies, every time they put out a Bourne movie, I'll probably be there to check it out. And last for the trailers, Warcraft, starring Travis Fimmel from Vikings, the History Channel series about Vikings. I've been really enjoying that series and his performance as Ragnar Lothbrok on that. So I'll be interested to see how he and some of the other cast take on the worlds of Warcraft in the movie. So enjoyed playing the game back in the day. It'll be cool to see it on the big screen. It feels like the game come to life. So that's exciting. Okay, now Winter's War. Uh, Winter's War is a prequel and yet sequel at the same time to Snow White and the Huntsman from a couple of years ago. Chris Hemsworth, Charlize Theron, Emily Blunt, um, Nick Frost. And it's a great cast, and they all deliver pretty solid performances. But my biggest word I would use for this movie is almost. This movie is almost good. It's almost a good fantasy movie. It just almost gets there, but it doesn't quite get me to where the first one did. I enjoyed the first one. It's definitely not on Lord of the Rings or some of the other great fantasy movie levels, but I enjoyed it. I liked the retelling of Snow White in the original, so I was kind of excited to see. Oh, okay, they're gonna tell more in this world. I like the world building they did in the first one, so it'd be cool to see, how Charlize Theron plays in with Emily Blunt's character, who's the Snow Queen, and their sisters, and all this stuff. So it's kind of like the anti-Frozen, if you will. Uh, but again, I thought visually the movie was great. It looked good. It felt like it was still part of the same world of the first movie. Um, Unlike other sci-fi movies, kind of like you go from Pitch Black to the Chronicles of Riddick, and it's just like too different. They went too far in the second movie. This one, it feels like it's still knitted into the same world, and we're just on another adventure with some of the same characters. So it's got that going for it. Like I said, great performances from most of the cast. None of them are going to go down as stellar performances for any of them. It's not award nominee performances, but they were good. I enjoyed it. Um, Charlize Theron felt like she was underused and then overused at the same time. I think if you see the movie, you might get what I'm saying. Emily Blunt, she's kind of got two levels for me in this movie. I usually enjoy most of the movies I see her in or her performances, and she's when she's talking with her troops, is training the huntsmen and all this stuff. She seems very lifeless, and maybe that was the point because she is the Snow Ice Queen. But the scenes with her sister, with Charlize Theron, are great. Seeing those two play off each other, too brief, but really good. Uh, seeing Jessica Chastain do an action. Would love to see her make it into one of the Marvel movies or some other superhero franchise. Same for Emily Blunt or Charlize Theron. All of them would be great additions to comic book franchises, I think. Nick Frost is hilarious, back as one of the dwarves. I can't remember which dwarf he played, but it was cool that another character besides Chris Hemsworth and Charlize Theron made it back into the movie. But yeah, it was a fun movie. I enjoyed it. My suggestion would be maybe check it out on a matinee, or if you got like a discount Tuesday or something. It's not a rush out and see it this weekend full price kind of movie. Um, I would say if you're going to go out and shell a full price for a movie, go see the Jungle Book. I know I reviewed that last week. I cannot say enough good things about that movie. So Jungle Book is definitely worth checking out. But so is Huntsman: A Winter's War. If you enjoyed the first movie, if you like seeing Chris Hemsworth run around with primitive weapons, doing macho action stuff, it's definitely a movie up your alley. Doesn't have quite the charm that Thor does, and I'd have to rewatch Snow White and the Huntsman. He's got a very thick Scottish accent. The accents he and Jessica Chastain both use Scottish or Scottish-ish accents in the movie, and it almost takes me out a little bit because I wasn't expecting it. Um, and I don't remember him really having that strong of an accent in the first movie, but maybe I'm wrong. Comment and let me know if I'm wrong on that. I'll probably be watching it over sometime in the next week to refresh my memory. But for right now, so like I said, enjoyable movie, fun action. I didn't feel depressed or sad or like I was getting beat up watching this movie, unlike other movies I'm not going to mention again. But it wasn't as fun as engaging as Jungle Book. So, like I said, there's a lot of fantasy tropes with the narration and the opening kind of it's almost prologue goes on way too long in my opinion. And some of the things that maybe I should throw my spoilers. I'm going to start throwing spoilers are now here. So we're going to do some spoilers now. Um, the beginning of the movie sets up this rift between Charlize Theron and Emily Blunt's character. They're sisters. Well, it's not even a rivalry between them, but something happens that sends Emily Blunt away and she becomes the Ice Queen. I won't spoil exactly what that is, but in watching it, you as the audience clearly get what's going on, I felt. Um, and they pretty much laid out all the cards except for one tiny piece of information, but you can kind of figure that out. So by the end of the movie, when it is supposed to be this big emotional moment, it's like, yeah, I kind of knew all of that, and I saw that last piece sliding in. It didn't quite deliver the impact I think it was supposed to, and could have had it been maybe edited or written a little bit differently. Um, you know, Whereas, as in another comparable movie in Maleficent, seeing her betrayal and everything that happens there, that was a very visceral and pivotal point of the movie. But it was okay to see all of that because there was no kind of like anyway. Um, and so the beginning kind of sets up before Snow White and the Huntsman, and then it just kind of jumps 7 years later and picks up after Snow White and the Huntsman, but the narration says, oh, years ago, long before Snow White and blah, 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 blah. And it's just like, how the timing just feels off. Um, doesn't line up. It's almost, I'd say it's almost as bad as Obi-Wan talking about the Clone Wars to Luke in A New Hope. And then seeing that not quite, and Anakin and what his dad was like and everything, and then seeing those things not quite line up, except I'm not near as invested in this movie as I was in Star Wars to be as disappointed. It's just kind of like, it doesn't seem like they tried to match up their pieces as well. But again, it's they do a good job of taking you back into that same world of Snow White and the Huntsman. It feels like it's part of the same story. Again, some of the pieces just don't line up, but overall, I enjoyed it. If you like the fantasy adventure movies, it's definitely one to go check out. Um, like I said, decent performances overall. Uh, I'll probably eventually buy the Blu-ray when it comes out, just so I have it to continue out the next movie, or the to be the continue on the series. It feels like there might be another story coming. We'll see. I'll definitely go check it out. It didn't turn me off to the franchise, but it wasn't. Didn't quite. It was almost. That's the best I can say about this movie. It was almost good, but it wasn't bad. um, I'm gonna go because I keep saying. So that's all I've got for you tonight. This is Jesse, the Beardy from the Beardy and the Baldy channel, signing off. Hope you all have a great weekend. Um, 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 um. Mom, if you're watching this, turn the sound off so you don't hear all the ums, because I know you love that. All right, guys. Peace out. Have a great night.